feel like tonight I'm giving off like a very 90s vibe with like the really bright under eyes and like the dark lipstick, but I think we're going to roll with it because the sun is setting and I want to get this wrap up done. So that's hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and we're going to be talking about books today. More specifically, we're going to be doing a wrap up of last month, which was August. We are finally in fall. It turned 90 degrees today outside and I'm pretending like it's fall. Obviously not that well because I'm still in like spaghetti straps, but we'll get there. Okay, so Lilith. Say hi, Lilith. Say hi to Lilith. Say hi. She's so mad. Okay, so let's get started. The first book I read this month was an Ali Hazelwood book. I think I have decided that I am done with the Ali Hazelwood like experiment. I thought I'd try it. She's very hyped. I thought I would enjoy Ali Hazelwood. I do not. I find that she's very formulaic in her books. They read a lot of the same. There's a lot of the same themes. A lot of the characters feel the same. Yeah, I'm tired, and I mentioned this in another video. I'm very tired of her pixie girls and giant Viking men. If you can hear that, that's my cat eating her dinner. But anyways, I'm very tired of that, and I'm also tired of like the blatant man hating in these books. Like, I feel like I might get a lot of criticism for saying that, but the main characters are very much like, oh, I hate men, men are the worst, men are disgusting human beings, men are the reason why the world is the way it is, awful and corrupt. Whether you believe that or not, I don't want to read about that in every single book. I feel like I said the theme, like before, like the themes are very formulaic, are very repetitive in all of her books. I'm tired. I'm done with it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But I believe Love on the Brain. I haven't even mentioned the book I read. Love on the Brain, 2 stars. I'm done with Ali Hazelwood. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The next book was The Wager. Oh my gosh, I forget the author of this one because I read it as a library book and I don't physically have it in front of me right now. But The Wager was a good one. This was like a 3 out of 5 stars. This was a nonfiction. It is very hard for me to rate nonfiction because, especially the topic of this book, which is I forget what century it was, but the British were fighting the Spanish. So that should tell you probably around the 1700s. A shipwreck happened off the coast of... I read it too long ago. A shipwreck occurred, and part of their survival there was like mutiny and cannibalism, and there's a discussion on the local tribes people, and at that time British laws, naval laws about mutiny and the politics of that. Like I said, it's very hard to write a nonfiction book. This book for sure will give you equal parts like hope for humanity, because like it's incredible to think that men actually survived through this, and it will also make you very sad for humanity because at the end of this, like I said, you see like the British political system of like, was this mutiny, was this not? You see men turning against men after having gone through this great big ordeal. So it's very intriguing, very interesting. I highly recommend if you're looking for a nonfiction. You know, I like my nautical adventures, so if I'm reading a nonfiction book, it's probably going to be based off of some sort of nautical setting. This was a good one. The next book, oh my gosh, okay, so this was my first physical read this month. I felt like I didn't read any books. I was like looking at my stack of read books this month. I'm like, what did I even read this month? And then I realized, oh, you did an audiobook and like 2 different ebooks. But anyways, Clemenstra, I hope is how you say that. Clemenstra. I'm sure you guys will tell me down below in the comments if I say it wrong. But by Costanza Casati, once again, just tell me in the comments. My videos are always so last minute. I don't even think to look up the author names because I'm just sitting down and talking to you guys. That's literally what I'm doing. There's no pre-planning this, if you can't tell. So tell me down in the comments if I say this wrong. Anyways, this book, 5 out of 5 stars. I will be thinking about this book for a very long time. This is one of those feminist Greek myth retellings that I absolutely adore. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't want to sound dumb. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I am not like a mythology major. I did not study mythology except for maybe like 2 classes, and I didn't read any of the Greek classics, any of my literature classes when going to school. So I am not gonna sound dumb by trying to tell you about this book. I am just gonna tell you that you need to read it, especially if you like Greek myth retellings, and if you're looking for a very interesting feminist book. I just love this book. It was a 5 out of 5 stars. This is going right next to Ariadne by Jennifer Saint on my favorite Greek myth retellings. Okay. The next one, Chloe Gong's Immortal Longings. I will give you a fair warning. Before I even tell you about this book, before I give you like my thoughts and ideas about this book, for some reason, Chloe Gong's writing and my brain do not mesh. I can tell that this writing is good, but my brain doesn't like it. And I think it's because there's not much dialogue, and I think that's just how her books are. I remember trying to read these Violent Delights and having the same feeling of like, oh, this is a great concept, this is a great plot, this is a great idea, but just not wanting to read it. And I don't know what that is. It's literally my brain telling me that you just don't like her writing. Her writing is good though. It's so weird. I'm sorry, that's so weird. This book is really amazing, to be honest with you. The concept is amazing. The plot is amazing. It's fairly fast paced. The characters are interesting. I think the only thing that didn't really hit for me was the dialogue. There's not much dialogue in here. So even for like a 350 page book, it felt slow to me. However, the concept for this book is really great. I would say it's like a urban Hunger Games with a lot more political intrigue and incredible world building. This had a lot of really great world building. I believe it should have it might be a trilogy, I believe, because it does end on a little bit of a cliffhanger. I love my cat. Hold on, I'm gonna show you what she just did. She just moved the chair and herself. She's blocking all of my light. Okay. Oh my gosh, that is so much better. That's a lot better. Okay, sorry about that. Next book. I read The Bone Shard Emperor by Andrea Stewart. This was a buddy read with Jessie. There were some other buddy reads this month that I didn't mention, but this was a buddy read with Jessie. I only mentioned that because she rated this 3 out of 5 stars. I, however, rated it 5 out of 5 stars. This is the second book in the Drowning Empire trilogy. I loved this. Honestly, the imagery in this book is amazing, and it needs to be adapted into an anime. Basically, it is about a emperor's daughter. She's not a princess, she's an emperor's daughter who comes from a family who can do like bone shard magic. Basically, they take pieces of bone and they can encrypt it with code and make Frankenstein-like beings from that code. They like stick it inside the being. And this is about her overthrowing the very corrupt emperor and all of like the political games that happen after that. Also, magical creatures. There is a magical race of humans / like these angel creatures, which are very intriguing. You also get the magical element. Lots of like, the first book happens in a castle, so it's very interesting in the way that like you're in this castle the entire book, but there's like secret entryways. She's trying to unlock doors with stolen keys. She's bouncing off of the roofs. The imagery in this book is amazing. Highly recommend. It didn't feel slow at any part. I think that there's one POV that I could live without in this series, but I still enjoyed this. There was a great battle scene in here that I really enjoyed. It did culminate, so it was very interesting because normally like second books don't really like culminate into like a big plot line. Normally they're a little bit more of a connecting book between 1 and 3. However, this book has its own climax and descent, and I really appreciated that. I really loved it. Like I said, the battle scene was great. We see some characters coming to themselves, and then obviously because there's a third book, there's a little bit of a cliffhanger at the end that makes me want to read the third book, and I want to recommend this to people because this is great. Next, I didn't even take the sticker off this book. Crave by Tracy Wolff. So here's the deal. I definitely want to give this 1 out of 5 stars. I'm not going to rate it on Goodreads 1 out of 5 stars because I know better. I know this was not written for me. I am of the Twilight generation. You can't redo Twilight. But no, this isn't for me. This is definitely like a fanfic callback to Twilight. If you couldn't tell from the cover, I feel like everyone was able to tell that from the cover. It's very cliche-y, very cringy. The main character says AF unironically. Like, sexy AF. Hot AF. Scary AF. Like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I got through the book. I listened to the entire audiobook. I know that's just because I'm not the audience for this. I'm sure there are people out here that are really going to enjoy this book. It is fun. If you just want to read it for the fun, it's fun, it's cliche, it's cringy, it's goofy. It's not meant to be goofy, but I kind of had to take it that way. The love interest, you got your classic emo boy, Edward emo boy specifically. There is a difference between emo boy and Edward emo boys. You have your like battling race, like fantastical races, dragons, werewolves, vampire shapeshifters, witches, and a magical school located in the middle of the Alaskan wilderness. One of my pet peeves in this book for sure was that like she kept suffering from altitude sickness, and for the most places in Alaska are sea level, because most of the places in Alaska where you're gonna live are coastal. So I was like, I mean, they don't specify the exact location. For all I know, they're on top of a mountain. But yes. Yes. If you're looking for a fun read, not to take yourself too seriously, you could definitely read this book. If you're younger, I'm sure you would really appreciate this book. Like I said, I am part of the Twilight genre. That did it for me. That cured the craving. If I wanted that, I would just read Twilight. I'm not looking to read another 6-book Twilight. So that's that. And that's what I have read this month. Like I said, I didn't feel like it was a lot, but I guess it ended up being 6 books. And I'm also in the middle of Moby Dick. So if you're looking for like future plans for videos next month, I should have finished Moby Dick and be able to give you ideas on that. And I am also reading the 4th installment of Fortuna Sworn, which is Beautiful Nightmares. Absolutely loving that. I think it's going to be like, it's just a comfort read, I guess, like a guilty pleasure read. I cannot wait to tell you guys about that. And yeah, I think that's it. If you want to know more about what my fall reading plans are, my fall TBR was posted last week. Other than that, I will be seeing you guys later. Bye.